So we're going to commence. We're going to commence the nominations committee meeting. And I think probably we need staff to give us the rules here first.
Great. I'll turn it over. And I should introduce, Colleen is a new program analyst in our office, not quite new anymore. She's been on for a few months. Erica Carroll supervises Colleen, and she's doing IOLTA and EF grant review, also partnership too. So Eric knows Colleen from partnership.
Hi. I'm going to start off with some housekeeping items. Welcome committee members, liaisons, and members of the public to the Legal Services Trust Fund Commission Nominations Committee meeting. Thank you for joining us. We will begin at 11 a.m. We are using Zoom with the goal to foster a more inclusive environment and effective meeting. If you would like to comment during the meeting, please use the raised hand feature. To use the raised hand feature by phone, dial *9 on your phone's dial pad to raise your hand and do the same to lower your hand. Please utilize this tool to virtually indicate that you would like to speak in order to help the chair facilitate the discussion. New going forward, all LSTFC and committee meetings will be recorded and posted to the State Bar website. A friendly reminder that this is a video conference and to please be aware of your surroundings behind you. For those using Zoom on a computer, when on mute, holding down the space bar will temporarily unmute. If you use your phone to dial into this meeting, please be sure your computer's microphone is on mute to avoid audio feedback issues. While joining audio video via computer is highly recommended. If an individual loses audio, they can call in separately using the Zoom conference number. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. Start with public comment. Is there anyone?
Kim, should I do roll call first?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No problem. Savage.
Here.
Bennett. Iskin.
Here.
Schreiber.
Here.
Okay, I don't see any of our liaisons. Colleen's here. Brady's here. Okay, I'll turn it back to you, Kim, for public.
Okay. Do we have anyone? Can you tell if we have anyone who wants to make a public comment?
No, there's no one.
No one? Okay. Thanks, Kim.
Welcome.
Okay, so we'll just move on to the first agenda item, which is to discuss recruitment of new commissioners. And Juan, I'll turn that over to you and then I can give a little update.
Sure. So I've been working with our communications team to kind of like broadly circulate, the announcement. They've been using social media. I sent them, the list of your suggested like affinity groups to reach out to. So they've emailed them. We're continuing to do, outreach. I know Chris sent me over the last few weeks, I think it was like 1 or 2 places that had been posted. One was like law schools, and I've seen other law schools that have come through too separately that have been posting us. So, we have about, I got 3 direct applications, but most of the applications go through, there's an appointments department. And so Kim was gonna look up and see how many applications we have, because she's gonna actually download all the applications and then share it with you all after this meeting. And once we had developed a process and how you wanna review them, we'll get all the applications to you. So I would say, it's not like super high volume, but it's more, we have more applications at this point in time than we usually do in past years.
Dawn, I counted, and then SharePoint folders 14 applications.
Oh, that's a lot. 14 is a lot for us. We've never had in the double digits.
How many slots do we have to fill, and what's the timing?
So those are the timing is something we should discuss maybe when we talk about process. And we have right now we have 6 people terming off. From the state bar side, there's one person terming off on the judicial council side, plus we have to backfill Bob's position. So it's potentially 8 openings, but again, one of them is JC, so we don't need to worry about the JC appointments.
But Juan, are any of those applicants public members?
The ones that I received so far were not public members, but I haven't looked at all 14 that have come through. That they've been coming through the last couple days. people have been emailing them. So I don't know if any of them are public members, but I have fielded questions regarding organizations that sent it to their clients, and they had clients that were interested. I just don't know if any have come through yet.
Okay, yeah, I really think this is where Selena pressed into some service for, outreach to the legal aid community.
And I think she has, and that's why I started getting emails from programs saying, hey, I have someone interested, is it still open? And I said, yeah, it's still open. There was one organization who had somebody very, very interested, and I offered to kind of hop on the telephone and talk to that person to kind of explain the time commitment and all that stuff, but then I haven't heard back.
So we have 7 slots to fill, is that right? That we would
7 between us and the state bar. Well, 7 spots, but it's not all for us, because remember, some of them they're going to be converted to legislative appointments.
So I'm just trying to figure out what our job is. What are we trying to accomplish? To find 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 6 people, and then are there any categories like Chris was suggesting? Do 3 of them have to be non-lawyer public?
They got rid of the public and non-public. It's just the client eligible members that are the commission. So just as a reminder, the commission has, hold on, let me pull it up. Brady, do you want to make a comment while I pull up?
You're muted, Brady.
All right. Yeah, I was, and my apologies. I didn't have a lot of involvement with this, and I'm here more to learn and just be a resource for this new process. So it sounds like, though, I could use sort of the roadmap that Eric is asking for, just in terms of, so you said there's 14 applications. Are they applications for any spot, for state bar /
They're both.
commission?
We're processing at the same time, and we were just going to do an update. We're going to get to that in the next agenda item, but should we just jump to that, Kim, and get to the?
Yeah, I mean, I think, with the legislation with 211, there's now these different, appointing entities, and I think the commission itself has
4.
And I can pull it up because I have something
4
prepared.
total, two commission members and 2 client eligible members.
They're all commission members.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pull up the document I had prepared? I was going to save it for the next agenda item. But
Yeah, we can do that, and then I will just report on my meeting with Donna towards the end. I mean, that's fine, because we're talking about numbers now and process, and then I sort of have something to layer on to that. So thank you, Dwan.
No problem. Can you all see this?
Yeah, it's good.
So this is what our new composition is. So 10 from the Judicial Council. The State Bar has 6. The Commission has 4. 2 has to be indigent. Senate has 2, and Speaker has 2. And the Senate has appointed one of their 2 positions. That's Judge Klein. So okay. So here's what we have vacant. Here are the people right here. 1 through 7 are terming off, and then plus Bob. And here's what we propose to the conversion. So there will be the State Bar. Will have one appointment this year. The commission will have 2 plus Bob's, so 2 like non-client and 1 client. The Senate still has 1, and the Assembly 2.
Is
So
that sort of proportional based on who's terming off and what?
Yeah.
And then so the Judicial Council has 0 because they only have 1 person terming off.
Well, I didn't deal with the Judicial Council right here. This is just like the Judicial Council will handle their own appointments. See, like Corey's terming off in the Judicial Council, so they'll need to figure out. Yeah, and I think it's only 1 or 2 on the Judicial Council.
And so I'm sorry. So are you saying then with this that we do have some involvement in the Senate and Assembly?
We don't. I was just laying out the Senate and Assembly, and the other update, and I think I shared this with Executive Committee, that we received notice that, we let them know that our natural terms end in September, and we asked them if they could wait until September to make the new appointments, so that we wouldn't have to ask any commissioners to vacate earlier, and they didn't commit to that. They said that they were kind of anxious to make appointments earlier, so we might get these reappointments earlier than September, at which point the commission will need to make a determination on who to ask to leave earlier.
Gotcha.
Is our role on this committee to recommend 2
Yes, yours is 2 plus Bob's backfill. So 2 non-client and then 1 client member to backfill Bob's position. So 3 total. And the Bob's position can be, you know, it can be effective, you know, immediately. It's just to backfill him. These 2, that's like more normal course is the September is when our, like I said, that's when our natural terms end.
So one more question. When you say there are 14 appointments, were those, when those people made their applications, were they applying for both the commission and the state bars?
Yeah, we were trying to make it easier for me personally, but we can bifurcate that process next year or moving forward.
I mean, I think it probably makes sense to the extent possible. I would think if other appointees wanted to be on it, that I don't know.
But the Senate and Assembly have their own their own process. They're handling appointments. We just get them notified.
But so in this round, at least, basically the commission gets its first pick of the applications, and then the state bar will make its choices afterwards.
Well, I don't know about that, and that's why we need to talk about process and timing, because on the state bar side, so that you all know, a few years ago, you know, a part of the Appendix I, they streamlined all appointments. The commission used to have a little bit more of a involved role in the state bar appointments, but since they streamlined it, it goes through 2 appointments liaisons on the Board of Trustees who make a recommendation to the larger board on nominations for all sub-entities. So I work with those liaisons, and so that process gets done and gets presented to the Board of Trustees in July. So depending on how quick we move on our side, you know, but I think we should just coordinate, right? Like if the state bar has, you know, is going to appoint somebody, then we probably shouldn't appoint that person too. It seems like with 14, we should have plenty of applicants to pick from. Oh, go ahead, Kim.
Right. I'm sorry. And I would imagine it would be fine if we could end up having some sort of ranking or to share that with the state bar liaisons, and they could do with that as they wish.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of just depends on how we want our timeline to be. And so we have 2 options. We can bring the nominations can bring their recommendation to the commission in June or in August. August feels a little bit tight for me, because then it goes into effect the next month, right, in a couple weeks. But I don't know that.
Can we recommend that any of those that are turning out be re-upped?
Yeah, and I've already received 2 applications from some of the this batch of 7 here. Because there's a term limit, but it doesn't start until this year. The term limit is 2 4-year terms, and then if you serve as a chair or co-chair, you have an additional year or 2. But everybody starts clean in 2022. So even if you serve for 2 or 3 terms already, it starts in 2022 is when you count the terms. So like Chris and Kim, who have been on for several terms, you could presumably apply once your term is up for 2 more terms.
Can I ask one more sort of foundational question? Given we'll be going through this process, will we, if we have a lot that we think are qualified, will we then share those names with the Senate and Assembly just so they?
Well, maybe that goes to Kim's update. Kim, do you want to provide your update?
Sure. So because there are now these, you know, various appointing entities, I thought it would be really important for us to try to inform those other entities of really what we need on the commission, that we need a broad range on demographics. We want to further the state bar's mission of diversity. And so I had a conversation with Donna, and she was very supportive of us communicating to the legislature what our current commission looks like, and what we need for the future. for the commission. And so that's a little bit of work that I think we could really start right now. We did not get into the question of can we, refer candidates who we think would be really great commissioners, to the legislature. That didn't come up. That seemed like kind of step two, but she did think it was a good idea for us to really communicate what we're looking for. I think it's a little bit of an unknown as to sort of how this process is going to go and whether there's going to be any kind of really sharing and coordinating the process. But I think that's a goal if we could manage that. I think it's pretty important.
Yeah, one thing Donna thought would be helpful for you all is to consider doing, and Kim and I can do this if you think it's valuable, put together some sort of like table to show you the demographic breakdown of our current commissioners, and not just demographics, also like what their background is, like what's the value that they bring to the commission. Like if there's a certain area of law, like Kim has housing, Chris is consumer law, or if they're, like Tammy and has banking, to see kind of what the expertise on the their personal demographics, but also what the expertise is, and then to go from there and see what are kind of the gaps. I mean, having like staffed the commission, I would say for a few years now, I think definitely going towards the like having 2 people from the banking world is really helpful. So I'd say a minimum, like something like that, keeping at 2, maybe even perhaps 3. That's helpful. But then we can also see what other needs, would be useful. I don't know if that's a tool that would help the nominations committee. If it is, then I'm happy to work with, the rest of the staff to kind of maybe send out a survey, try to get that baseline information that we kind of know, but then I think a formal survey just so that we're not making like assumptions.
I think it would be, I think that would be helpful. And while you mention it and think about diversity of skills, a social scientist or statistical type like a Jim Meeker, I think is really helpful. Maybe think about that as well.
And we used to have Herman, so we had like 2. So yeah, I agree with you. Somebody with that data science academic background has been just really, really invaluable.
So my thought was that despite that, when we apparently apply for a commission appointment, that it's public information, and we're told that anything we put in the application is for available to the public. I think that whatever is drafted needs to be shared with the commission and make sure they're comfortable with this, and then because it's going to be going to the legislature and others.
Okay, so do you want me as a I guess as a do we want to wait till June? I don't think we want to wait to collect that information, right? Do you want me to draft an email and perhaps put together a survey for your review? And then if you all are comfortable with the survey, then we could send it out in advance of June to collect that information.
I want to just acknowledge Pamela. Pamela came on. Thank you, Pamela.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Christian, do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, about which, on all of it.
Anything. You've been uncomfortably quiet.
So yeah, I guess overall, I would say I'm in favor of sharing the applications among the other appointing bodies, because I don't think we should let qualified people go because we have 2 spots and only 2 spots, and we get 8 good folks. They should be forwarded along to the other appointing bodies. The demographic piece, I agree, we should try to figure out sort of what the matrix is. That's what we do on other boards.
Yeah.
Not only personal demographics, but also areas of expertise. That's useful. And then I guess the last thing is that, or 2 other things. One is, I know it's harder, Juan, to onboard people sort of at odd times, and but honestly, like the goal is to get people in and then on, and then you don't have to worry about it for a long time. So I think we probably have to bite the bullet, we being unfortunately the royal we, sorry.
Yeah.
And then last thing is a question, I guess. I hope that a person's application is not shared publicly.
Yeah, so that's why I haven't emailed it out, because I wanted the process before we, I didn't want to, yeah, and I was, that was my instinct too. That's why it's not part of this meeting and posted for you all today.
No, yeah, Brady, that can't be the case, right?
We can check with Suzanne. I'm pretty sure that they are discoverable under CPRA. So somebody requested.
Yeah, they're discoverable, but it doesn't mean we have to like post.
Yeah, we don't affirmatively share them, but if somebody wrote saying, "Oh, could I see all applications?"
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's like what I suggest, because I looked at how the board does it, and I think they do it quite nicely. You all would have access to the application, right? We wouldn't post it for like these meetings, but when we go to make a recommendation to the commission, I can do a high-level summary and a memo, and then the people that we want to recommend, we could do more of a summary instead of attaching their application. So it'll be in a memo format. Then we don't need to attach their actual application, and that's what the board does.
I think just to make sure we're all tracking. So I think on the timing, I think you're on the same page, because Dwan was saying she didn't want to wait till August. She wants to do it, get it done for June. If she can, we can. But I think that what I was hearing Kim saying was she was concerned that before we send out this survey, which will be probably some summary results will be affirmatively public, as in will be part of meeting materials, but all of which will be discoverable by CPRA. I think Kim was saying that she would like this current commission to have the option to weigh in on, oh, I'm not comfortable or I am comfortable with that survey before we launch the survey. Is that what you were saying?
Well, I mean, in terms of how individuals are described in the matrix. I mean, I don't know how, I mean, there's different ways of doing that. You know, there's ways of just like profiling a particular background without putting somebody's name on it, or you put their name on and you put in what their background is and that they're in Southern or Northern California. I just don't know how you want to do it. I'm just a little cautious on that.
Well, I wouldn't.
I think it depends on what's in the matrix.
And I guess I'm not envisioning posting it as public materials, but that's just like for like the nominations committee, and that's what the appointments liaisons do as well. And then if we want to share that with the legislature, obviously, like Brady said, it's discoverable, but we're not like widely circulating it.
With the matrix, I want to be sure I understand it. This a survey of current commissioners?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Help inform like what our needs are when we.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's something for the nominations committee to decide. If I understood Donna correctly, she was suggesting that be circulated to the legislature to state our current composition and
Right.
what we would be looking for. I think that's an important, important step to consider whether we want to do that. That was my sensitivity, not for internally in the commission.
Do you want to just have the executive committee look at it? I mean, to put it to the whole commission for a discussion about what the survey should say.
I would say the survey is just to you all, this nominations committee.
I thought Kim was suggesting you wanted to vet the way you're going to structure the survey or describe people.
I think it just depends on where the information's going. You know, I think just providing, if we want to inform the legislature of what we are looking for, we can certainly just provide categories, I guess.
But I mean, is what you're saying, maybe we should, once we come up with a thing, say, hey, we're putting together a survey that's going to ask about these things. The results, we're planning on, the results are, everything you give to us on this could be disclosed per CPRA, but what we're planning on doing is sharing a table that doesn't have names, but will have the responses to this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's for this committee to decide, you know, what approach they want to try to inform the legislature about what we really need on the commission. And so it's,
Well,
you
and
know,
also
really-
it's a tool for us too, right? Like as the
Yes.
nominations committee.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But isn't it the case also though that we, like the demographic info that we put up is voluntarily provided by,
Yep,
Yeah, it's voluntary, yeah.
yes,
it'll be
yes,
fixed potentially, you know?
So there could be some decline to states.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yep,
Yeah, and with that type of information, we never force somebody to
Yeah.
fill it out. It's always an optional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there could presumably be, you know, and we've had this in the past, some commissioners, even applicants on the state bar application does ask for demographics, and there's some decline to state, and we don't want to assume, right? So
Right,
we just
right.
leave blank. Mhm.
right. Pamela, do you have a perspective on this so far? I know you came on a little bit late, but I think you know where we're headed.
My apologies for that. So I'm just listening in at the moment.
Okay.
And what I'm hearing so far sounds good. I'm trusting my colleagues here.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
So what I hear is I'll mock up something with an email message, and then I'll send it to the four of you for feedback. And then if we can land on something over email, then I'll send it out.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, then should we talk about timing then? So it's either the June 17th commission meeting that the nominations committee will bring the recommendation, or August. But my thought was August was tight. August does give you more time to recruit, vet, do all that. So I don't feel strongly. That's just my initial thought.
What do we need to do between now and
You need
June?
to review the applications, and then I think I heard from just commissioners here and there that you'd like to interview. So this is up to the nominations committee, right? We're developing a process now on how you want to do it. I think interviews were suggested before, and then if we do interviews, then what's the composition, right? So we're trying to figure out all the process. So at the very least, you have to review all the applications before you have to get together one more time as a group at least to then figure out who you want to nominate, and then I can draft the memo and then share it with you all for your approval.
August seems fine.
Oh, you think August is fine?
I mean,
Okay.
Could we do it before? Is that the question?
Well, we only have 2 commission meetings between now and like when the terms end the end of August. So beginning of September is when the new term begins. So
Yeah.
you could do it in August, but then you can only notify the new folks. You only have a couple weeks, but I guess that's not too bad, because then the next commission meeting isn't until November. So even though it starts in September, it's not like we have a meeting in September.
Right.
Yeah, so you're suggesting that we would, if we wanted to do June, between now and June, we would all review at this moment, 14 applications, and then come back together as a committee and figure out about an interviewing process.
So that might be tight. So if you feel August, then yeah, August will give us more time. And then like Chris said, we're not beholden to the state bars April 1st deadline. And actually I had them change it, like at least for the commission side, is on a rolling basis, Chris, like you suggested. So more applications may come through. And then we review them on a rolling basis. So we should do the 14 first now and develop a process and how you want to vet them. Do you want to interview everybody, or do you want to just filter out a first level and interview? And then as more come in, we just, cycle through.
What's our like limit? It seems to me like the first step is to see the application. We may decide that we want to interview 4 people, 2 people.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, isn't one way to do it to have everybody do the interview? And I mean, even now we could come up with that. If 2 of this group think that somebody should be interviewed, okay, that person's going to go on to be interviewed. So you don't necessarily have to come back for another meeting, another notice meeting to decide who's going to be interviewed. You could have decide a process now for deciding.
Yeah, exactly. And I was hoping you could just decide a process. Yeah.
And my other thought was, and this just occurred to me, is there any desire if there is a candidate to get somebody on to fill Bob's spot sooner? Whether that's in June and the person can be here for the August meeting, or even sooner.
I think if you guys see a public member that's good and you want to appoint to refill Bob, there's no really reason to wait, because it's another person to help us out and representation from a client member, which is great.
Yeah.
What
I
is
agree.
what does a public member mean? How do you define that?
I'm sorry, a client eligible member. We used to have this distinction between public and like attorney position, but the SB 211 did away with that. The only distinction now is client eligible, the 2 client eligible members that the commission appoints, and then everybody else. There's not a distinction between attorney and a non-attorney.
Client eligible means someone who meets the income thresholds.
Who meets our statutory, so not just
Or-
income, a senior,
Oh,
senior person, developmental disability,
That has frequently been a really important and very difficult
Mhm.
position to fill. I mean, I've reached out to some executive directors with legal services programs, and they're a little, they're challenged by it also.
yeah.
So
You know,
Dwayne, you're suggesting we begin reviewing now with 14 applications.
can you post the link for the application for me?
Yeah, so we were gonna figure that out after this. Kim, are you gonna do SharePoint, or are we just gonna email them out? Kim was looking in it for me because it's a high volume, so we might try to do SharePoint so that there's just a link, and then as we get more in, we'll drop them in there for you.
The blank one.
Oh,
I
the
was
blank
just
one,
gonna
yeah,
ask in the
sure.
chat,
After this meeting,
whatever.
I'll email it to you.
Because I'll send it to a couple of board members, or a couple of people I know who are on the board of organizations that might have access to disabled members who
Oh.
could be interested.
I'll send it to the
And
4
I'm
of y'all again
assuming-
then.
And I'm assuming the application is accessible and
I'm assuming that Kim isn't it accessible? Sorry, I'm asking our Kim.
yeah.
It's all on the state bar, so it has to be, right, Brady?
Yeah, it should be,
All
yeah.
that stuff is accessible because it's a link to the state bar website. You might want to check Louisa, Kim, one more time, but it's got to be, I think.
Okay. I'll assume it's yes, and if it's not, we need to remedy that
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
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 please. Yes.
So let us figure it out. Like, let us get the confirmation before I send it to you. But I feel like it's got to be because it's on the state bar website.
Okay.
We have applications pending right now for some client eligible people.
The 3 that I received directly are not, but the 14 are in the queue that Kim just downloaded from the portal. I don't know because I haven't reviewed them yet.
I guess what I was going to say, and you probably don't know the answer to this, but I mean, if you had reviewed them and if there were any that were particularly compelling, I mean, I guess we could proceed to an interview right now, but I guess you probably don't know.
I don't know because I haven't reviewed them.
Yeah. Building on what Eric said, I mean, I would support giving a client eligible appointee a priority for us.
Yeah.
So I'll do a quick pass. I mean, I will send them to you and then I'll do a quick pass and then send you an email of what like the breakdown is, kind of a thing.
Thank you.
Some general, like high level breakdown. Okay. So how do you want to do the review? Is everybody just going to review the whole set? Or how do you all want to do it?
Personally, I recommend that. I don't think 14 is oppressive. They're not that long.
They're not that.
Mhm.
They're easy to review.
And, if there's sort of if it's typical, some people will have taken the application more seriously than others, and they'll be easy to sort of see. And so.
The standouts stand out. I mean, having reviewed them for a few years now, some people, take it very like, they come with letters of recommendation. Their answers are just, more involved, but yeah, they're not, it's not like reviewing an RFP application. They're very quick to review.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. There's no reason we can't look at all of them.
Okay. Great. And then how do you want to, oh, sorry, Pam, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. No, I agree.
Okay,
review all
great,
of them.
great, great. It's unanimous.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how do you all want to set up the interview schedule? Do you want to, because if we do 2, we don't have to notice, it would just be an interview, right? Brady, if we do more than 2, then we have to notice that interview.
Well, if it's staff, well, I mean, where it gets a little tricky. So this is advisory. They're not actually making a decision. They'll be coming back with advice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 2 is definitely fine. It could be more than 2, but that's only if it's a staff decision, and it gets a little, I mean, we're discussing it right now. So it's, I think to be fully compliant and clearly compliant, 2 would be the limit.
You're saying 2 commissioners and staff,
Well, 2 in the
2 committee
nomination.
members, 2 committee members and
Right.
staff, and a staff.
Right.
And then we could do, I mean, guess through email, like, I think Chris is the one that just suggested, if you see somebody, an application that you want, that you think is deserving of being interviewed, then maybe we just respond over email and coordinate that way.
In other words, respond to you, Duan.
Respond to me and I'll set up the interview schedule. And if say there are 3, then maybe I'll just ask, like, I'll do the, I'll propose something to jiggle it around so that everybody has, like equal amount of interviews.
This is a small enough groups that we can be pretty,
Yeah.
so I think about scheduling meetings,
Mhm.
although we have to notice them. Do we have to
No,
notice?
We don't have to notice them. If we keep it as 2, we don't have to notice it. We can do Zoom.
I mean, if you sent the 14 out, I wonder if instead of just a flurry of emails, from here and there and everywhere, whether we should just sort of set another meeting to just review
yeah.
the applications and say, look, let's review the following 4 and just agree on it.
Oh yeah, that's another option. So we send out the 14 and then we have like a soft deadline to review all, and then we come back to one meeting. A short meeting, like an hour meeting to figure it out.
And then set interviews after that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, okay. I mean, that's okay with me.
Chris, does that work? Pamela, does that work for you?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to?
It does.
Do you want to try to pick a time right now?
This would be in May.
Well,
Or
we
in
have a
April.
lot of time because we're not going until August. But yeah, we can start. Yeah, if you think a month is enough time to review the set, yeah, we could do it sometime in May.
I mean, I could do it earlier. I mean, I think but
Late April.
that's fine. Yeah.
I could do the last week of April. I'm out the week before that.
Yeah, same. That's fine.
Oh yeah, I'm out the week before that too. So let's hold on. You just look at. How about April 25th, 26th, 27th? That's a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Maybe 11 to 12 on any of those days. Are any of those dates particularly good for you?
Yeah,
25th?
my Wednesdays are open, so Wednesday.
Your Wednesday?
Yeah, they're great for me.
So how about Wednesday, the 27th between 11 and 12?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Great, okay. Okay, great. Oh, and Bonnie, hi Bonnie, you're on as well. Maybe we can get an update too from Bonnie on the JC after we figure out the process. So I think we have the process figured out though. Is there anything? So we'll meet again. We'll decide on who to interview. We'll go through the process. We'll get together again, the nominations committee, decide on the recommendations, and then I'll draft a memo to the commission for the August meeting, and then you'll all approve the memo. Okay. Great.
So, and I really apologize, we're working on the federal outcome thing and I don't know. It's just taking way too much time. The whole issue about the chair and vice chair is what
We haven't talked about that, so.
You haven't talked about that yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Just didn't want to be losing out because
no, we were just talking about the process Bonnie, for developing for this nominations committee to appoint the trust fund commissioners being appointed by the commission. Yeah, so you all remember that the Judicial Council now is going to appoint the chair and the co-chairs. It used to be the Board of Trustees, now it's Judicial Council side. Bonnie, do you have an update on that, or how you're going to try to process the application?
Well, I have to get a memo in next week with recommendations. So,
Oh, really?
so I was hoping that we would be able to discuss it at this meeting so that I could have some recommendations for the co-chairs to be presenting.
One option is the nominations committee can make a recommendation to the commission, and the commission could then make a recommendation to the JC. I mean, that's one option.
It's just the memo comes from the co-chairs.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I don't think they have to go to the, I mean,
Okay.
normally we, so I'll say, here's our normal process for that, for memos to the executive and planning committee, which is the way we go through this. We write the memo, we try to present the 3 candidates for each position. I don't think we have to, I haven't had to do this in a long time. I don't think we present 3 different options for chair or co-chair. I think we just can say the co-chairs are recommending these people. I think it's just because it's sort of awkward to go to the full committee and say, you know, who do you think should be chair, right? So it just comes from the co-chairs. So if there's a way for this committee to do that, or, you know, that we can identify those folks for the co-chairs to be recommending, that'd be great.
Oh, so are you suggesting maybe the nominations committee makes a recommendation to the co-chairs? Or
yeah. Yeah, as I say, I've never been involved in your process in terms of how it goes, but it definitely would not go to the commission. And again, I've got it's a crazy timeline, frankly, because our applications only close tomorrow. I mean, you know, this week, and I have to get the memo written next week. And
okay. Oh, geez. Okay.
What is the
not just
effective date
written.
of this? I'm really confused. I mean, we do have for next year, Christian and Christina
fine.
as the co-chairs.
That's
No,
fine.
but you have to officially get appointed though, Kim. I mean, that's usually
Right. So, but you're saying now we need to go through a process to make it official, or it's after that 2023. I'm confused about what's being implemented here.
Can I help clarify?
Yeah, please.
So it's a practice usually that the vice chairs get then appointed as co-chairs, but it's not like a given. So usually when it goes to the Board of Trustees, I share that with the with the appointments liaison. It's never really been an issue because it's usually uncontested. But it always has to go through a process, even when it was with the Board of Trustees.
Right.
Now the process needs to go through the Judicial Council.
All right. Okay.
And
But if you're looking for a recommendation from this committee, why don't we just recommend what Kim just said, you know, Christian, whoever the other co-vice chair is, be the co-chairs next year.
Well, there's the vice chair positions too that people
Oh,
use
okay, I
in a statement of
understand. I
interest.
understand. So we have to do that too, but for the co-chairs next year, why wouldn't we just officially, formally do what we sort of have already done?
I guess I was a little confused when Bonnie was saying co-chairs, whether she was talking about commission co-chairs or something of the Judicial Council. Because Bonnie, you're saying you want from someone over on our side a recommendation that you can then transmit to the Judicial Council.
Yeah, so the memo that I write for the Chief Justice comes from the co-chairs of the commission, the current co-chairs of the commission.
Oh, okay.
And they're the people that get interviewed by our Judicial Council Executive and Planning Committee to say, you know, what do you think? Because we will have specific nominees, right? We'll have people who have applied or reapplied for the 7 positions, or, whatever, we have 3 open positions. So they will be, we submit 3 names for those. And our process is I write a memo with a biography and information on all of them. The co-chairs review and sign off on that. And in the past, I've always said the designation of the chairs is not within the Judicial Council's purview. Wasn't our thing. This year, it is. And I'm recalling I have worked with other committees where it is within our purview, and it is always the chairs, or in this case,
Gotcha.
co-chairs prerogative to make that nomination. So it doesn't have to be from this committee, but I thought since you guys have a nomination committee and it made a lot of sense, right, to have that discussion here.
That makes a sense. And I hadn't realized that you, in your normal, for regular commissioners, setting aside chairs, which is new, that you are utilizing the chairs of the commission to make that in the past. So it sounds like it would make sense to have them keep being the recommenders.
Yeah,
I'm so glad the chief is going to be recommending me. That's a first.
Yeah.
No, I'm teasing. So Bonnie, I'm assuming Judicial Council doesn't have like a dog in the fight of actually, even though it has an appointment to the commission, to the chair position. So, and anything we do in this committee would be a recommendation to the full commission only. So I guess the question I have is, how can we satisfy your timeline for the chief's letter, given that we won't have a commission meeting to adopt?
No, the commission does not have the right
Yeah.
to make that recommendation anymore.
They just want to hear from the chairs. They just
want to hear from the current co-chairs who they want to nominate as co-chairs for next year.
Co-chairs and vice chairs.
Is it vice? What does the statute say?
The statute allows for
chairs and vice chairs.
And vice chairs, it's plural.
Okay. So this is something that comes from Rich and me and goes to you.
Yes.
No, I write it. I send it to you to review, and then I send it on to our leadership.
She ghostwrites it for you.
She's the name.
Right.
She's
So
the name.
I
Somehow we communicate with you and give you our recommendation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So you need to, if we go by practice, you've got the 2 co-chair recommendations. You need to come up with the new vice chair recommendations.
Right. If you want, I guess I'd have to read the statute.
It says the chair and vice chair of the Legal Services Trust Fund Commission shall be selected by the chair of the Judicial Council. The chair of the Legal Services Trust Fund Commission shall preside over the commission's meetings. The chair of the Judicial Council may select up to 2 chairs and 2 vice chairs.
Okay.
Which is what we did.
So I'll just make a note too, that the co-chair position has usually, and vice chair too, uncontested, but there's possibility that it will be contested, right? In one of these years. So that's where.
I don't know what you mean by contested. Are you saying there's an application process?
No, contesting the multiple people. Usually it works out. Like 2 people apply for the co-chair and 2 people apply for the vice chair. It's easy, right? 2.
But I guess what I'm saying is, what application process is there? Because right now we just need to get to a point where Kim and Rich are making these 4 recommendations.
So when I used to do it for the board liaisons, I used to ask for a statement of interest.
Well, it sounds like we need to do that within the next week.
I would say that hasn't been consistent. There has been some informal drafting of individuals to be
I give
chair and co-chair, to put it quite frankly.
What that statement looks like.
There's been encouragement.
I think this is a new process where the commission does not have the authority to, I don't know that it could, there's a timing issue, but
Bonnie, there was, I don't know if you all recall, like last year, there was a commissioner that felt that was displeased that he felt like it wasn't open to the full commission, even though I actually had sent an email that the person didn't see it and felt it was like not open to everybody. So
I will
would,
say that is true for judicial council. It's definitely not open, and it's usually the same people, you know, so I don't know how different that is. Sorry,
Question,
Brady.
quick question. So it sounds like you've got the names and you're putting together the names for the new commissioner, the appointments to the commission.
Yeah, I know I know of a couple of people who've applied. Yeah. So
But I mean, it's the same process as before, basically.
Yeah. That's the
Do
same
we
process.
need to have on this same timeline, this chair and co-chair recommendation? Okay, so it sounds like we need to, with like today, send out the commission an email, hey, the chairs will be making a recommendation, or will be, you know, making a recommendation by X date for the chairs and co-chairs that the judicial council will then consider. Please let us know if you're interested.
yeah, that would be my recommendation, Bonnie, because you
That's fine.
might get criticism from commissioners that it wasn't an open process. And
But
Eric,
that's- I mean,
you remember, right, Eric?
I do. I think that's,
Bonnie's kind of blind to that because it's really just how Kim and Rich are getting their names.
right. I mean, I agree with that process. I have a question. Bless you, Christian. My question is, are we only seeking at this time people interested in being co-vice chairs, since we have co-chairs for next year? Or are we starting that part over too also? So Bonnie, as we all understand it, we have Christian and Christina as currently vice chairs who will move into the chair
Presumptively.
positions.
Presumptively.
Presumptively, yeah.
Well,
the
that's what
thing.
that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
What are we asking for?
I think that if you really are only going to be opening it up to vice chairs, I think that would be the gracious thing to say. I mean, it's, you know, again, it's for better or worse. Ours is very much a, you know, chair-driven process.
Okay, I mean, I agree with that.
But we're shifting over, you know, this is a new process for you, but, I mean, I guess you could ask, but ultimately it's going to be your determination. But I think if really what the chairs would say is we would like to maintain the process where we will recommend that the vice chairs move into the chair position, and that has been traditional and it's worked well and all that. And then based on applications or, you know, expression of interest, here are the person or persons that we would recommend as vice chair.
Okay.
Just to play devil's advocate, does it seem undemocratic though?
no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Doesn't? Okay.
I think the process that by which we selected the current vice chairs, wasn't that the result of an open solicitation? You did ask people to solicit interest, right?
Mhm.
So I think that process was fine. I would limit it to vice chairs.
Yeah, I agree. I don't expect a problem with that, given that you will articulate that this is the process which we have used, and that's why we have vice chairs moving into the chair position. So I think it's most honest to just say that we're just looking for vice chairs who will then become chairs.
Bonnie, can you and I draft an email together? I can start it and then you let me know what you
Or
want.
it's Kim, isn't it Kim and you really? Because it's.
Well, no, to
this is-
solicit the statements of it. Like, what do you like, Bonnie? You let me know what you want, right? Or I guess Kim. It's Kim and Rich.
Kim and Rich are
need-
making the decision based
Okay,
on.
so Kim and Rich want to draft the email then? Well, Rich is not here, so Kim, would you like to draft the email? I was going to draft it for you, but
That's fine. No, I'm happy to have you draft it, and I'll check it out, and then we'll send it out. And Rich can check it out. We'll both check it out,
okay,
and
gotcha.
then get back to you. I think this is not going to be a complicated step, really.
And then what, Bonnie? What do you? I guess it's Kim and Rich. Like, what do you want? Just a statement of interest, or how formal do you want it?
I don't, it's the recommendation is coming from Kim and Rich. I don't need anything from them.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Okay,
just need their names.
Gotcha.
okay.
I think it's
And-
raise your hand and say why you're interested.
Yeah.
And no, leave it at that, whatever they want to say, but we don't.
Yeah, I think it's,
Right.
I think
Gotcha,
it's
gotcha.
more what, if Kim and Rich feel like there's something they need
Gotcha.
in order
Okay.
to make their recommendation.
Okay.
No more
Kim,
than-
so I'll work with you then.
No more than
Yeah.
300 pages.
Yeah, right. If you get 5 and you want to talk to them, then you can, then we can,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow I don't think there'll be a fight.
yeah.
So I guess one question that would be, well, I will say what would be helpful for me, since I don't think Christian or Rich may be a JC position. I can't remember at this point. I get a little confused. I need a short bio. I need a paragraph.
Oh, yeah, Christian is a state bar.
Yeah.
And
Do you
Christina
guys write
is a
bios
state bar too.
for the, what if you have a bio, Christian, if you can send me a bio, like seriously, a paragraph is all the space I get. Well, I can throw in a little bit extra, but this is not a resume.
No
right?
need, less is more.
And Chris, I have your statement of interest from last time. I'll send it back to you in case you want to just use that as a template to update.
Okay.
Right, yes. at the moment.
Please,
then-
please respond with your interest and a short 1-paragraph bio to be used.
That would be
And
great.
we need a deadline on this too, to help
Oh,
Bonnie out,
deadline.
right? We need
Yeah.
like, what, a week turnaround time
Yeah, let me look
or
at
less?
the actual day. I'm trying to think. It's so crazy tight.
I'm going next
Why don't
week,
I look
and
and
then
I'll let
tomorrow.
you know.
Tomorrow?
I won't be here next week, so I will get this to you. I'm writing one right now for a speaking thing I have to do in July.
Okay.
Yeah, I just honestly do not remember what the final deadline. I just remember there was a lot of discussion about how we would be able to manage this turnaround, but it didn't
Lauren,
matter.
you'll send that back to me, my prior one.
Yeah, yours was good last time. Yeah, very good.
I have a sense we have to have it in on the 8th, so if there's any way, I'll be writing, but depends on also Kim and Rich, how much time you want to review, but.
I don't think we need much time.
Okay, so maybe by the 6th. And I'll just keep those as the 2 open. I know who the recommendations for the chairs are.
Yeah, so that's a
and then
week
just
from today.
So I'll ask the commissioners to send back by Tuesday.
Sure.
Okay.
Juan, how much are you paying for this position? Maybe I'll apply.
Ah,
If
I'm
only.
not gonna.
We can't afford you.
Yeah, stock options.
Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Great. So I think that's all the business items until our next meeting. Does
Well,
anybody have any?
I'm heartened that we have 14 applications.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes, I'm excited to see them, very much so.
Did you reach out? Like, I can reach out to Bates Zedek and organizations that I know. Are you interested in that, doing that for, client applications or whatever you
We
call it?
reached out generally, but I didn't email each organization personally. So if you have a connection, yeah, that would be great. I think it's usually the individual connection that's how we're getting applications.
Yes. Okay,
Great.
anything else? All right, and I think we are finished. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
1 hour.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hip, hip,
Thank you, very
hooray.
efficient.
All
Take
right.
care.
Efficiency. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.